So, William, you have the last clause there.
Mr. Rodriguez, there is a
Yes, sir.
there's a particular Greek word that is really important, and you don't need to know Greek to know it. You can actually look it up real quick. It is the term katissis, which means, majority of the time, it means being a part of creation. So my question to you is real simple, because Justin, Origen, Irenaeus, Clement of Rome, and various other fathers, they employ this word many times, and they also connected with Christ. So my question to you is this. When is Christ ever called as being a part of creation? By any of the Apostolic Fathers?
You're asking if they use the word for Jesus, right? If I can find an instance where they use the word for Jesus.
If you can find an instance where they apply, and actually, I'm not. My question is, if you can find an area in any of the Apostolic Fathers, or if you want to include Tertullian, Origen, Irenaeus, where they apply Christ as being a part of statistic, a part of creation. Because they do all employ this word.
Okay, so if we look at Ignatius to the Trallians, chapter 6, I believe, it says that, let me see where it is here. It says, let's see here, where does it say this at? Oh, yeah, hold on.
Just a section where we're told, and they can, because this is a particular word which means being either created or being part of creation. Do they ever apply that to Christ?
No, I'm not gonna say that it's, because I've never studied it to give you a good answer right now. But I was going to show you somewhere where it had something that was kind of correlated with that. But
okay, I'll move on. I know time goes by real fast. So I want to go right back to Irenaeus in Against Heresies 4:20, and I'm going to read it out loud so you can turn it right away. For with him the Father were always present, the Word and wisdom, the Son and the Spirit. Excuse me. By whom and in whom, freely and spontaneously, he made all things. To whom also he speaks, saying, "Let us make man in our image and likeness." Mr. Rodriguez, the words with him always present. What do those words mean?
Yeah. That one is a really good question, because that one I wouldn't have to concede. I read that and I was kind of confused on how that would fit in, and I think that has some problems for Arianism in a sense. But always with him can be and is problematic, and I will admit, because I want to be honest and I want to search these out for sure. But
and I commend you for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But always, in my opinion, and this is the only thing that I can come up with, which is the same with eternity, that always with him may not necessarily mean into eternity past, because there is a begottenness of the Son. But I think it might be in the perspective of creation that he has always been with the Father, but not necessarily saying that he doesn't have a beginning. And that's how I read that. But it's a very interesting assembly of words, and I'd like to look at it more in the Greek. But given that Irenaeus himself used homoousios and understood it very well and used it against the Gnostics, he never uses it for his own doctrine. So I cannot accept that he's talking about Jesus being a consubstantial being with the Father. And so that cannot mean, even if I don't understand it, cannot mean that it's in a co-eternal consubstantial way. It has to, at least in any terminology, mean two gods who have eternally existed always with each other, if anything, because there's no consubstantial understanding in there.
Mr. Rodriguez.
So it's either that, which is unscriptural, or it means that he does have a beginning, but he's always been with him since his inception.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, I understand that you have problems with it first, but let me try and break it up a little bit here. Irenaeus is talking about the Father, and then
you're asking me questions, right? Or you're not just explaining what you want?
No. Exactly. I'm going to ask you a question. Mr. Rodriguez, in Irenaeus it says, for with him, referring to the Father, were always present the Word and wisdom. You do, well, let me try and break this down. The Father is one person, am I correct?
Yeah.
The Word and wisdom, which we're told is the Son and the Spirit, those would be two other persons, right?
No,
they
not
wouldn't
to me.
Be. Okay,
not
so
that the Word and the wisdom would be two different persons. You're saying that the wisdom and that the Word are two different beings?
It says the Son and the Spirit. It's actually
I know where it goes. I know it goes into talking about how the two cherubim, I believe, or something like that.
My only question is this: how many people are there in this passage? You see the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. You have various different articles: the and the Son, the Father, the Spirit. How many persons are those?
3. There's 3.
Those are 3 persons. When is it? What is it speaking about when it says, "Let us make man in our image and likeness"? When
talking about creation. Talking about creation.
Then my next question would be to move on to. You actually don't want to talk about Tertullian, am I correct?
Hold on. You can't just make a statement and just ask me what. Can I make a little bit more?
Yeah. What's the statement?
Okay. Okay. Well, let me just say that with that, there's an Arian Trinity. So
you believe in the
there's
Trinity,
not a problem.
Arianism.
I believe in a Trinity, not the same Trinity that you have. I believe that.
Okay.
Arius said that there's a triad. So it's Arian. It's an Arian doctrine. It's not that there's only one Trinity that Catholics hold. There's a Trinity that Arians hold. Although they don't consider Jesus and the Father being consubstantial, they look at it in a different way. It exists. So just pointing out that there's a Father and a Son and the Holy Spirit somewhere is irrelevant because Arians have a Trinity as well. It could be the Arian Trinity that they're pointing out.
So Arius would have believed that God the Son has always been with the Father. He would have believed that?
In the sense that he has always been with him since his own inception, since his own production, and since his own generation, yeah. Always from the perspective of the Son, yeah.
I think you agreed with me. This passage is speaking about 3 persons, 3 distinguishable persons. That is
not a problem.
Understood.
Not a problem.
Would Arius have believed that the Son, a distinguishable person, was with the Father, always present? Would he have believed that? That's the rest of my time over.